captain, Gavin Gerhardt, all Big 12, Luke Kandra, and the 13th different Bearcats rush for 1,000 yards in a season, Corey Kiner. Questions for the student athletes?
Corey, you came home and got your spot at the top of the running back room this year. Was it important to just make it clear that like you were coming back to, lead this offense going into next year?
Yes, sir. It was important to me to come back and do that, do my part in leading the offense, and helping to lead the offense with these guys. So, yeah.
Luke, kind of the same thing. You came home. It wasn't the season you wanted, obviously. I'm sure you had opportunities professionally probably awaiting you. Take us through the decision to run it back for one more year.
Just the thought of going professionally, but I've always just wanted to stay, come back, go one more round, and this is my last year, so I just want to go, just do the best I can.
Gavin, what did this last season teach you? You had a lot of winning in your career, and then you go through a tough season. How much did you lose, and kind of learning how to lose and how you and this team have reacted to it?
It's been difficult. I came in probably at the perfect time to come into this program and go through so many wins and be a part of all that. And then to go through this season, it was rough. But I believe in this coaching staff, and I knew that give me another year, we'll get things back under control and we'll get things back going.
Gavin and Luke, you guys all made the announcement as an offensive line group to come back and run it back for the 24 season, all kind of around the same time. Could you just walk us through what it was like with those conversations as that offensive line to, hey, let's run this thing back for one more season altogether?
Throughout the season, we all knew that we were probably going to all come back. Towards the end of the season, we didn't really have too many conversations. It was just kind of a feeling, and we all knew that we were all going to come back. And then once we announced it, we all decided, Corey announced it that morning that we would all announce it at the same time. One of the guys was a little late to the party. Give him jokes about that every once in a while. But that was real, important for us to get that out there and let the, fan base know.
Yeah, I also think that just us announcing at the same time is kind of important just for, everyone knowing that we're all on the same page and that we're all coming back to, having belief in Coach Satt and Coach Cardwell and the whole coaching staff. So I think that's another big important aspect of it.
Even though you're all back, I'm sure you paid attention to what's going on yesterday with everybody in. Are you surprised by some of the names? You probably know some of the names, and are you working on some of the names?
Yeah, it was very, I saw the stat of having, over 1,000 guys enter yesterday, which is just a crazy amount. But, for me, it's kind of crazy how of the names I've played against that I've known. And, yeah, it's kind of just knowing them, seeing them enter the portal, and good luck to them.
Gavin, you were the only returning starter last season. This year, Connor's back, the entire offensive line. How does that help with continuity heading into next season?
It helps a lot. And when I, being the only guy back, I was used to being the leader of the O-line, playing center, after last season. But having these guys back, I won't be the only voice out there that, and throughout the season, I knew that they'd be vocal. But at first, I was like, oh, I gotta lead this whole thing. Like it's all on me. But having everybody back is tremendous.
So you lost a few of the backups. The starters are here. I'm sure you still know some O-linemen. Can the guys, the current backups that are currently here, can they step up and take those positions, or I don't know.
Yeah.
There's some names out there I've seen that it's like, well, they'd be kind of a nice fit. So that's what I was getting at. I don't know
and, whoever Coach Cardwell wants to bring in, we'll support that. We know that he's only going to bring guys that fit this program well, and they build in with the chemistry of this program. And a lot of the guys, the two deep that we have from last year that are going to be returning, they've all made a lot of strides in the progress of their development. Like Jonathan Harder, Ethan Green, they'll all continue to develop, and they'll be good to go.
Luke, Coach Satt talked about the guys you bring in, whether it's high school or transfer, one would be a good fit for the program. you having played with him at Louisville, do you have a sense of what that is and what kind of players do you feel like he is looking for, especially in the portal,
Mhm.
to bring in that'll fit in right away?
Yeah, just good people. That's what Coach Satt always says. He wants to bring in good people first, and then good players. He obviously good players. There's good players everywhere, but just good people. And it shows when just like the previous teammates at Louisville, and even now like other guys coming in. They're just good people and good guys to be around. I think that's the biggest part of them.
Corey, following the Kansas game, we caught you kind of standing emotional, taking Nippert in, then you told us you weren't done there. Just talk about this community a little bit more, and for you to come back for the senior season, just embrace this community a little bit more heading for your senior season.
So, growing up in Cincinnati, I always looked up to the Bearcats and everything that they were doing. And one of my high school coaches, Solomon Timmon, played for the Bearcats. So I always knew what was going on here. I knew the great things going on. And then, my journey took me elsewhere. And then I saw all the great things happen here. So I decided to come back and be a part of that. And I just know that this city is known for winning. And that's what I want to be a part of. And that's what we want to be a part of. We want to help to get back to that and show the community that no matter who is here, we're all great people. We're all winners.
Or you ran for 1,000 yards this season. After having a few weeks to think about it, like what kind of pride do you have for, accomplishing that goal? And then for Luke and Gavin, how much pride do you guys have for being blockers for a guy that ran for 1,000 yards as well?
It was cool for me personally. Like it didn't go the way I wanted it to go, but like being with these guys and accomplishing something that's not very easy was very fun because I seen the work that these guys put in every single day, and the work that I put in, and then us together just made it work.
Yeah, I think for the O-line, that's our stat too. It's Corey's stat, but I feel like it's the O-line stat too, because all the work that we put in for him to hit those holes and get those yards.
Gavin, what did Coach Cardwell do to kind of bring that whole offensive line group together and lead to so much success? Because you have guys getting their first experience and you have multiple transfers coming in, and then he has to kind of build that, and then he leads to one of the best offensive line groups. So what did he do to kind of put that together?
It starts in the summer when, before, fall camp and OTAs started, he gave us a packet. They're not allowed to work with us, but, some drills that we can, do as an offensive line. We go out there after our lifts and everything, and do those, that'll prepare us for, fall camp. So when we get to fall camp, it's not just being thrown into the fire. You got a feel for what he wants. And, he has drills that, certain guys need certain things, tackles might need to be able to run off the ball a little bit more than me. He has drills fit for that, for every player.
Mason Fletcher mentioned Barry Jackson and Jonathan Thompson as two guys he's really excited to see develop this summer and off season. Who are some of the younger guys that we should maybe know that you guys see every day in practice that you're excited about next season?
I'll just speak for the offensive line to start. I know that, Ethan Green's going to be a tremendous football player. I think Jonathan Hart is going to be really good too. Trying to think who else we got in that room. Evan's going to be really good. And I know he gets his hands on somebody. He's getting away from the high school side of ball, trying to just torque kids. But once he continues to develop, he's going to be a really good football player. He's going to make me a little nervous.
Corey, the running back room thinned out a little bit. How focused are you going to be over these next 2 weeks as they bring guys in to maybe find your running mate, your guy that kind of helps you out in that room going forward?
I would say I'm very focused. I'm giving my input on guys that I think that would be a great fit for this room, because we're not just looking for great running backs, we're looking for great people. As Luke mentioned earlier, we got to bring in guys who fit the mold of this team. So it's very important.
Gavin, how different does this offseason look when you look around the room and it's more than just you that has started a game on offense now? You've got a full offensive line. You've got Corey. You've got some wide receivers. How much different does this look now than it did a year ago?
That feels awesome. I can go into this offseason, and have all these guys, helping me lead the team in the weight room. This offseason is going to be hard, and we need that. We need to build this team up tough and nasty, like we pride ourselves on in the past, and disciplined. We need to be really disciplined. And, you know, having these guys, along with some others, you know, helping me lead in the weight room, you know, for starters, it's going to be huge.
Hypothetically, if there were to be a quarterback that visits, do you guys want heavy involvement in that? Do you guys want to be around to make sure the guy fits and he's right there with you?
Yeah, that's what Coach Sack and Coach Carwell really said. He's like, they would give us some names to, like, you know, hit him up or, you know, look him up, see how he fits, and then they do give us like some like input, like, hey, do you like this guy or not? So I think that's what's really important too.
Yeah, and we believe that they're going to bring the right guys into this program, but giving us a say, you know, letting us meet the guys before they really make that decision, we appreciate that a lot.
Any other questions? Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.